Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card. So today's pick a card is about what big shift or transformation, possibly unexpected, is coming through for you now. So we're all creatures in evolution, I guess. We're all, in a kind of state of some form of change or consolidation or review or reflection. So we're just looking at the sort of the next big transformation or shift that is important for you. And I want to look at this across three key realms. One realm is sort of the relationship and well-being, our kind of communal, community, relationship, love energy, how this shift is connected to that. I want to look at it also through your career, your vocation, your path, that kind of energy, and the lifestyle that is associated with that. And then thirdly, through the spiritual lens of what's the spiritual engine under everything that's driving this. Now, the inspiration for this reading came from just receiving a new oracle I purchased. And I'll just show you quickly the thing. It's called Feel Your Chakras Oracle. So really interesting oracle. It's very simple and we'll get to it, but it's simple in its design, very complex in what it has, because what the creator's done is looked at each of the chakras and looked at how you would feel whether or not you're kind of overactive, underactive, imbalance and so forth with any of the chakras. So it's a really useful kind of almost diagnostic tool for that. Not in the sense of like, I'm not saying this is like diagnosing health or anything like that. I'm not qualified to do that, so I'm not saying that. But in terms of getting to the core of what could be going on energetically and how these shifts or transformations might either be as a result of that or how understanding this can help you, I think that's really important. So you're going to see it as part of the choice, and I'll get to that. You'll see what the nature of the deck is. There are other cards that are going to set the scene and also be part of the choice. But later in the reading, we'll use this deck again in more detail. So really going to try and get a sense of how this feels for you and energetically is working for you, not just what's going on. So in terms of the choice, of course, you can go to more than one reading if you like, but I felt like I would use the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck and shuffle and ask for just one card to show me the nature or area that we're looking at in terms of a transformation. There are some other cards under here. I know what decks they're from, but I don't know what they are going to do to kind of show us what's unexpected about it and some of the energy to watch out for. So that's it. And there's also some cards from the Heart Code Oracles, which we'll get to it a little bit later in the reading as well. But for each of these, as I say, I want to talk about the choice via the Wild Unknown Alchemy, but I'm also then going to turn this over. You're going to see what chakra we're talking about and the energy around it. And this is to help you choose. So if you resonate, very much to that, if you feel it might either be something that is triggering change for you or welcoming change, or it helps you deal with it, that may help with the choice. And as I say, so that's part of the energy around this, but we will go back to this deck and use more cards from this deck to get a more nuanced side of it all as we go through. So firstly, for pile number one, we have synchronicity. So the energy, I think that this would be potentially drawing to people who have seen a lot of synchronicities on one level or another that you think could be connected to a shift, a transformation, a next step for you spiritually or practically. I do think it's an energy where the universe is talking to you on some level. So if that resonates, and the chakra card that we have is for the heart chakra, which is Anahata. I may not be pronouncing that correctly. This is saying it's a bit underactive. It says, I love, but I can be unforgiving. So there could be some energy around this in terms of connecting to things that have not been helping your heart in relationships or lifestyle or well-being or so forth, and how synchronicities, how the universe might be wanting to talk to you to shift that energy to get the heart chakra more in balance. Or it could be something that if you start to go through change, you're going to have to think about the impact on your heart and how you connect with other people. So that may help you choose. For pile number two, we have Chiron, which is all about healing. It's also about teaching. So Chiron in this particularly tilts towards the healing energy, but Chiron also as a character in mythology was a teacher of sort of magicians and so forth. So it could be either of those things that draw to you. The chakra card is for the third eye, which makes sense with the kind of magical energy, Ajna. and it's balanced. I see and have peace of mind. So this is certainly, if it is a healing, it's something that's going to bring a lot of peace of mind, but it also might be that there's something about you teaching and helping others, because as I say, there is that dual energy for Chiron. So if that draws to you, pile number 2 might be right for you. Pile number 3, we have the great work. Suggests that this is something, some sort of change that is very much connected to why you're here, your kind of life purpose, your spirit purpose in some way. And you may be at any stage of the great work, the magnum opus. So it's really just a shift or a change that's going, or a transformation that's going to help you with that. And the chakra card that we have is solar plexus, so very much connecting to the sense of self-worth and so forth, which is Manipura. And this is balanced. I do have a warm personality. So this may be about how your work connects with others, and how your own persona connects with others in some way. But as I say, the purpose of that is like the 2 points of resonance that might draw you to the reading, because it's only a part of all of this, and we'll be looking at all of this in much more detail. And you can, of course, go to more than one reading as well. You may think that if you're dealing with this issue, that these energies might help you and so forth. So whatever works for you, the timestamps are in the description box below, and I'll see you in your reading. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. So we have the heart code oracles over to the side. We will have a look at those a little bit later in the reading, but otherwise we have the cards that drew you to the reading in one way or another, unless there was something else that drew you to this particular pile, plus the kind of unexpected aspect of this change and some things to look out for or to be aware of or think about. It makes a lot of sense now why we have the heart chakra with underactive with I love, but I can be unforgiving, because the thing that's triggering this, and I think the thing that the universe is trying to talk to you about, because I think synchronicities are the universe's language. It's how the universe, your spirit guides and so forth, show you that there is a pattern here, something to pay attention to. And it could come up in anything. It could be song lyrics you hear. It could be that you keep seeing particular images, particular phrases might happen. Things that happen in dreams might then turn up in one form or another in real life. There's a kind of a, here's the pattern, see the pattern. It has something to do with healing. And it's interesting that I felt that it was possible for some of you, and I'm not saying do it unless you feel drawn to it, but that there might be a correlation between pile 1 and pile 2, given the Chiron energy for pile 2, that there might be, here's the issue and then there's part of the solution. As I say, it doesn't have to be the case, but there's a very strong energy here about some deep wound, it says, overcoming pain, rebuilding, seeing the way through, but there's some energy about, do you forgive or don't you forgive? And I don't think it necessarily says you have to kind of forgive everything, but there may be a decision about what in this transformational shift in your life which heals you and takes you to what you're meant to be doing or takes you forward. What do you forgive because you want to take with you? What don't you forgive? Because it's interesting, we have spring here. It says time or season of growth or development. It's saying whatever this pain was, you're moving away from it. You're moving towards something much more lovely. You're moving towards growth. And we have ear, stop and really listen. So I feel it's saying that right now, the universe is talking to you about your healing, moving forward. Something wonderful is coming through. This shift will be wonderful, I think. This shift will be incredibly healing. This shift will be something on one or more aspects of your life where you really start new growth. But it's like, how do you make the right decision about what you take forward and what you leave behind? And I think this is where the ear is important. It's like maybe at this point it's really, slow down, see if you can hear or see what the universe is saying. But also it may be that if you're looking at particular people and you feel that they've hurt you, you're not sure if they should be part of your life, but you do have a connection to them. This will be about people you have a connection to. It may be listen to their side and then make your decision. I don't think that Spirit on any level is saying that you have to forgive everybody, but it is saying make sure that your love has kind of connected in with what the universe is saying and connected in with people to decide whether that's fair, whether it's love without conditions that are going to hold you back, but not necessarily ones that are not going to do that. So I really strongly feel here it's not saying that there's anything wrong in not forgiving under certain circumstances, or at least to the extent of not taking certain people or situations forward if they haven't worked for you. But I do think that there is also maybe some people, some situations, some elements of this that could belong in your new, beautiful, transformed world. It's up to you to hear, listen, and make that decision, because it could be part of your healing. Otherwise, you might take the pain forward with you. I think that's what Spirit is trying to say. So, as I said, I want to look at this shift from 3 different lenses. I want to start firstly with what is this all about for you in terms of relationships and well-being. Then I want to have a look, and we're going to use tarot for each of these. Then I want to have a look in terms of your vocation, your career, your life path, and your lifestyle, the kind of things that you do in the world. So one is, what do you feel and connect to in the world? And the other one is, what do you do in the world? And then we'll have a look at the spiritual connection. And then, as I say, we're going to use the Heart Code Oracles, and we're going to use the Feel Your Chakras Oracle for some more information around each of those. But firstly, we're going to start with tarot. So we're just asking Spirit for a little bit more of an idea about this transformation and shift, which, as I say, I think looks very beautiful. What is it about for you in terms of relationships and your well-being? Page of Cups reversed, the Star, 10 of Pentacles reversed, 2 of Swords reversed, Ace of Cups reversed, Page of Swords reversed. Okay, all right. It's very much pointing to the fact that at the moment there could have been issues around communication. This is, I think, why we've got stop and really listen. Because it's saying here with 2 of Swords reversed that you're looking for information, you're looking for signs. And I think the universe is going to help you. It's going to help in synchronicities here. Because there is something, your heart has closed down a bit because you don't know how to either communicate what has occurred, or you're not even sure what to trust in who you're talking to. So it'll depend very much on what is causing this and what the situation is. For some of you, this is very long-standing issues. It could be around family, it could be around work. Either of those things with the 10 of Pentacles reversed is a sense that there is a edifice, a way of things happening that has to change. This is why we also had spring. New growth is coming through. It's very good. Like, Spirit wants you to know this is actually very good. And they're saying that one of the things to do at the moment around making this work for you in terms of your relationships, your connection, your well-being, is to define what you want emotionally. Because Spirit is saying, in a way, you've been in a reactive mode. There's something, you've been in some situation around a relationship, family, friendships, work, whatever it is, where information has been very difficult to get. It's very hard to trust. You've had to protect your heart, but you know that something, you sense it, and the universe is talking to you about this. Something better is coming. So the thing that Spirit is saying here, the best thing that you can do to deal with this is to define what you want. I feel like it's almost saying, if you start to define what you want emotionally, the universe is going to start talking to you. This is what it's about. It's like you're going to start to see, if you almost had a list of, this is what would make me happy in relationships, work, whatever it is. I mean, I know this is about relationship and well-being, and we're going to look at work and vocation, but it wouldn't surprise me if for some of you, because we've got Pentacles there, that there's some work or financial issue around this or something. But if you start to list out almost as a set of criteria what you would truly be happy with, as opposed to just reacting, I feel like the universe is going to start showing you signs to show you where that is, and also bring more clarity to this. If part of the problem is it's really hard to know who to forgive because it's so hard to even understand what's been happening. So this shift is in response to something, but it's a very positive shift, and it's saying you're kind of almost magically at a point where you can start to define what you want, and that's what's going to bring in the best energy for you in terms of your well-being and your relationships. So let's get the cards from the Heart Code Oracle that relate to that to see what else we had. So these might be some challenges, or these might be some blessings associated with this. So we have consequences, okay, and we have surrender. All right, okay. Some of you might have been in a fairly significant battle of one sort or another, but I think this is surrender your well-being to the universe. The universe is bringing in something new for you. There are consequences to these choices, and I think part of that will be to people. If people have betrayed you or lied to you, there will be consequences for them. Give it up to the universe. Their karma will catch up with them, that kind of energy. But on the other hand, it is if you have certain people that you love and you care for, there are consequences if you don't slow down and listen and see whether it aligns. There might be times where forgiving is actually going to help you rather than be something that challenges you. So I think there's a sense here of understanding if something really unforgivable has happened, and for some of you this could be the case with these cards, then let go. Do not let your well-being, do not worry about it. You're moving forward into something good. It's not, you don't even have to be forgiving, because it's like the karmic energy of that, it's going to sort itself out. So don't worry about that. But if you feel that if you had a bit more information, maybe there is some things that are salvageable, then yes, the consequences here are surrendering to the advice to actually give a bit of time to work out what you take forward. And that's where we've got the ear. So it's going to depend on who's come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 3 more of the chakra cards for this element. So this is all about anything else to bear in mind around relationships and well-being. What I'm doing with this deck, just so that you know, is I'm not looking at it. I'm just shuffling at the moment because it would be obvious to me, because the cards are coloured, which chakras they are. So I'm just asking Spirit. I'm just going to shuffle till I feel right, and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to take the first card off the top each time. So the first shuffle around this brings third eye. I see and I feel anxious. There's an overactive energy. We'll talk about this in a minute. I'm just going to get the other 2. So the next one that is important to take into account when you are looking at this change from a relationship and well-being point of view is a solar plexus. Overactive, I do get hyperactive, okay? And the third one for you is your crown chakra. I sense infinite wisdom. Oh, perfect. Surrender. The universe is talking to you. Okay. So this is very spiritual. It's very much saying if you've been finding it hard to get actual information around this, and I think you have, going within to the spirit, you have a very strong sense of telepathy and so forth, and you're very connected to spirit. But one is making you worry, and this is very interesting. When you connect through your crown chakra to spirit, you calm down, you sense infinite wisdom, you surrender, you understand that you're moving towards spring. But when you are just connecting to other people, there's an electricity in the energy. I think you're probably quite telepathic, probably very telepathic actually. I think when we have third eye overactive, that's often the case, and it can be hard to differentiate between our thoughts and the thoughts of people around us. So I think what is happening is that you've been connecting into a lot of other people in some way with this and trying to sort out what's going on. This is why Spirit wants you to see the synchronicities and listen to the universe, because, in nature, there's something out in nature too. So it's saying if you are just directly trying to sort this out, it makes you feel too anxious. But it is saying that, because it did say listen, it may be just kind of slow down, don't worry, and don't judge it. Because as I say, this is saying like if there's something that was wrong, the universe is going to look after it. It's going to almost pass out of your life. If there's something that's salvageable, if you slow down and listen, you don't have to be so anxious, you'll find it. It is saying here also with the solar plexus, with Manipura being overactive, that sometimes you just rush to the response. This is why Spirit wants you to stop and think about what really do you want emotionally rather than responding. There's something it was something really difficult, and it made you worry, and you weren't necessarily wrong to worry, but it made you kind of go into hyperactive. How do I protect myself? How do I show myself? How do I keep my self-esteem in this situation? So you're kind of overboard on third eye and solar plexus. What do I connect to other people, and how do I be me? And this is saying that, in actual fact, you're very spiritual. And if you just slow down and connect to the synchronicities, that's where the information is going to come to you. And it's going to help you around relationships. It's going to help you around well-being. Okay, so let's then have a look at the shift in relation to career, vocation, life path, and lifestyle. So as I say, this is the feeling energy, really, in all of this. Now we're looking at the doing energy in all of this. 2 of Cups reversed. 5 of Cups, Knight of Swords reversed, 10 of Swords, wow, okay, 5 of Swords reversed, Eight of Swords reversed. Okay. There's a lot of mental energy that's been going in how this impacts you, either in terms of your life path vocation. So it could be in career, or it could just be more broadly who you're trying to be. Very big. There's a lot of mental energy around this that has been very exhausting, I think. This is why it's kind of like just slow down, listen, see the new growth going on. It's got the Knight of Swords reversed. That suggests you've been kind of hamstrung and not able to act and that sort of shown. It's been something very dramatic with the Ten of Swords. This is likely to have been, I do think for many of you, it's been around something around work or vocation in some way, and the relationships involved are in that. That's why we had the Ten of Pentacles. But it's certainly something, there's something dramatic. If it's not that, it's like you are so different to your family that this is the kind of mental breaking out of a kind of ideological prison. And it is saying you can do it. Eight of Swords reversed. Don't give up. Five of Swords. Do not. You are on the right path. I think it is saying whatever this is, you are on the right path, and most of the drama is actually over. But you've got to kind of really sense that you have actually got past the worst of this. There's been something very disappointing. Very disappointing. So it's either been that you had a love relationship, for instance, that was connected to what you want to do in your life path, and that hasn't worked out, or it's there's a kind of a broken-hearted energy around what you are trying to do, and this is like it's why it's been so hard. But this is saying, like, mentally, it's like once you start to see mentally, you'll know that the worst of it is over. Again, and then you can see the spring coming in. So let's see with the Heart Code Oracles, career and lifestyle. So with career, caution. Yeah, there is probably still, if you're still in the workplace or still in the career path, there is caution around what to do. And you will do that, but don't give up. Your liberation from this energy is coming. But yeah, there's a lot of emotional energy, and it's almost like don't talk about that, I'd say. Listen to what other people are saying. Be just a little bit careful what you say. Around lifestyle, momentum, things are going to start to speed up and going to free up. So whatever this is, whatever that block was, it's going to start to free up. Okay, let's see 3 chakra cards around how to deal with this, around what you do. As I say, career, vocation, life path, lifestyle. So the first one is crown chakra. Balanced. I sense spiritual growth. So yeah, I think that you're very, very spiritual. You may very much have been in a workplace or around a life path that wasn't. That might have been part of the issue. But you can see that this is actually for your growth. This is why the universe wants to talk to you, because you're very in harmony, and remember that. Then we also get sacral chakra. And so this is, I feel a lack of creativity. All right, yeah, there's a block. There's something here emotionally. It's not, this is why thinking about what you want emotionally is important. You felt a block creatively, underactive, in a workplace, in a vocation, or in a lifestyle that just doesn't inspire you each day. Because as I say, I feel like you've had to respond to other people a lot. So this transformation, this shift is to actually bring that creativity back. And third eye again, this time balanced. I see and connect to the universe. It's the universe here. It's like, I see the third eye as very much connected to telepathy and others, but like it can also be at the collective unconscious level. So if you see like the third eye telepathy to others, which I think is what was going on in terms of relationship, and it was getting overactive as a result of that. But here, when you bring it into what you're doing in the world and your life path, you're connecting it back to the universe. You can see how this matters. So it's not so much all the other people around and an overflow of information coming in a confusing way. It's more that you're connecting your third eye to the collective unconscious and to how the universe is talking to you. And so it's actually helping you come past this block. So very, very spiritual sort of energy with you. So then we're going to look at the spiritual side. So we're just going to pick 3 tarot cards for the energy around the spirit. So how this connects spiritually for you. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Wands. There's the creative energy. 9 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. What this is saying, that there is a very material aspect to all of this, as I say, whether it's a career vocational issue that you're dealing with and the changes happening in, or whether it is more relationship, spiritual, or whatever, but it has a material outcome and it has a skill outcome and it has a creative outcome. So the three key elements here is that Eight of Pentacles, working on the skills that you want to reconnect to who you want to be, rather than maybe what an environment or a group of people have wanted from you. If it suits your situation, going and studying something could be helpful, but there is a spiritual connection to your gifts, and part of that is your creativity. In fact, that's a very strong part. You channel creatively, I think. And so being aware of that, that's why synchronicity, that's why the universe finds it easy to talk to you. It'll probably come to in a creative way. This is also saying too that if you felt isolated or alone, you do not have to be for much longer. You can either find in listening that some people are closer to you than you think, or you're going to find your people. This is a shift that highlights your skills and your creativity to bring you your people. That's what it's really all about. That's what the springtime is about. So I'm going to get one more chakra card just to see on a spiritual level what can kind of bring in the sense that you have of this. And we get another cycle. So it's very much about creativity, overactive. I feel emotionally overreactive. So yeah, at the moment it's kind of because you're in a reactive energy. This is to try, and I think this is the point about the Pentacles, slow down, think about what you want, think about who you'd want to connect with. You're very, very spiritually connected, and you channel incredibly, and that can feel overwhelming if you're trying to deal with this with other people. So I think this is about slow down. Don't react emotionally to all of this. Kind of like understand, listen to your inner knowing, listen to the universe. This is all happening to free you up and take you where you're meant to be. So rather than reacting, it's more like channel anything you have that into your creativity. You have a real skill, this is saying. Okay. So let's have a look at some fortune energy also around this shift. So I'm just going to get 3 Lenormand cards. Then we're going to also get some stars, some astrology energy for you as well. So just a little bit more information about this shift. Book, learning, there. I think that there is something that is yet to be revealed. The book card can be like that. It's like, it's like something has to be sort of seen or known yet, but it's also about learning. So I think this is meant to be a bit of a learning process for you. Things will be revealed, but they'll be revealed via synchronicities rather than, that's what you're supposed to listen for. And what the outcome could be and the aims of this can be revealed as well. Owls, there could be people talking about this. It could be like, that's the other thing maybe to listen for when you're trying to work out who to trust going forward. You may find out there's a bit of gossip or something like that. Don't be worried about it. That will be revealing in and of itself. I also think with this deck, even though the owls are the birds and Lenormand is that, it's like discussion and potentially gossip, like you need to be aware that's going on. There's a wisdom to owls. So I think this is like connecting to your wisdom to understand what this is telling you rather than reacting to it emotionally. And crossroad, because you're coming to a decision. You're actually going to get to choose. This is what it's saying, like there's a big shift or transformation, but ultimately you're going to get to choose. It's not just going to happen to you. And in fact, if you felt like things were happening to you, this is part of the shift, that this is now you getting the information you need and the connection you need to make the choice for yourself about what's the path that you want to go on. Okay, so let's just get you a couple of pairs of planets to see sort of energy on that level that's worth considering. So we have Mercury and Uranus here. This is all about communication and how you hear and where you hear from. Very, very, very psychic and very, like, you really channel. Very quick. Things come very quick. If anything, that might be one of the other things where you kind of react emotionally because it comes through so quickly. If you can detach a little bit, slow down and listen and think it through, that will help you. But this is going to increase. This skill you have is going to increase. Once you really start listening to the universe, wow. Okay, and Saturn and Uranus. Because you're meant to find a way to restructure your life using your inspiration. Up until now, you've been limited for some reason, but this is about breaking through that. And it's your mind, your communication, your channeling, your connection, you're being able to sort of speak with the universe that's going to do this. It's going to bring it into a balance of structure that works for you, but is still inspirational. I just feel like if something's happened to you that's really unfair, it's almost like you could write a book about it. Do you know what I mean? Or you could paint a series of paintings about it, or you could write song lyrics. You don't have to do these things. They're just examples. There's something around all this that becomes inspirational, where you almost use your own experiences and what you've learned as your own muse in a way. So very, very powerful. Okay, so just to finish up, I'm going to get you a couple of blessing messages from the Enchanted Forest. Firstly, we have, without agenda, pure love and everything you have dreamed will happen when you are ready to give love without expecting anything in return. True givers receive. So I think this is part of the thing about I love, but I can be unforgiving. I think for most of you, there will be some people probably that need to leave your life, or some situations that you need to liberate yourself from. But I also think that there are people who care about you as well. And so it's making sure to be able to listen and see and carry those ones through in some way. And one of the things might be, who has been with you and supported you without any agenda, without asking for anything. And we have, what do you want? If you react negatively to the success and joy of others, it's a sign that you want more for yourself. Don't hold yourself back. Expand your comfort zone. So if there was anything in this which felt unfair, like you were passed over for a promotion or not chosen in some way, or others have got things in it you don't understand why. Again, there's something about this that's meant to inspire you, but you need to go right back to that original piece of advice with the Page of Cups reversed. What do you want? What do you want to feel? Once you've worked that out, the universe wants to partner with you. So, but this may be telling you, if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling angry, if you're feeling competition that was stifled, if you're feeling that people weren't being honest with you, all of these things are true, I think, in many ways, but it's what you're meant to move away from, because it's meant to get you into touch with how much you could really create your own world and how inspiring this could be. So overall, a very positive shift for you, Pile 1. I hope that resonates. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 2, to your reading. So you came to the reading with Chiron, as I say, which is about healing and about teaching. And then we also have the third eye, balanced third eye, I see and have peace of mind, which I think is good given what this shift is all about, because I think it is about something shifting an energy and healing from an energy that wasn't particularly great, to be honest. But it is saying that because you connect with your intuition, you connect with the third eye and so forth, that you know kind of that the healing is coming and you can see your way through. But it's interesting, betrayal of trust, stab in the back. There's something that, well, either you have been through that or something like that is coming. But if it's coming, you will heal from it quickly. But there's something very, very karmic about this, because we have facing Saturn, lesson from the universe, withdrawal, discipline, hard work. There's some element of this that has got to do with something that has to do with your life path. It's a karmic relationship, a karmic career or vocational thing. It could cross a number of those boundaries. We are going to look at each. But it's interesting because I just so strongly feel with this, with Chiron, as I say, I mean, in this deck, it really is about things like healing energy and all that kind of thing. But I feel like coming out of this, because you've worked out with your intuition, with the moon, your subconscious, emotions, instincts, moods, like being able to really connect to that. You're not hiding it from yourself. This is a very material, practical thing that's happened, and it always going to happen, and it has to do with other people and about whether somebody actually did what they were supposed to do. I mean, at its most, it could be even, have you betrayed trust? Though I feel with this energy, no, I feel it's much more likely that someone else has done this to you, or there is a risk they're going to do this to you. But either way, it's like you are able to move through it, but it's serious. There's something serious about this, something about your life path, karma. I think it clears the karma, to be honest, if there is a karmic thing. It could even be an emotional thing that's come up because of something karmic that you did do in the past, in this life or in another life, that was a betrayal. But it's understanding that. So that's part of the issue, is understanding who is the betrayer, what was that betrayal. But it's also, how do you heal from that? That's the healing. It's the letting go of that energy. So it's pretty pretty full on. So let's see what we get with tarot. We are going to look at the heart code oracles around various aspects as we go through. So the first thing I want to do, there's 3 lenses I want to look at with tarot. The first is around this shift and transformation in terms of your relationships, your well-being, so all the things about how you feel, both within yourself and in relation to others. The second lens is going to be all about what you do, so your vocation, your lifestyle, that kind of thing. And the third lens will be spiritual. And as we go through, we'll use heart code oracles and the chakra oracle as well. So firstly, let's get a sense about the impact of this transformational shift in relation to your relationships and your general well-being, how you feel about things. Pile 2. 3 of Pentacles reversed. Judgment reversed. Oh, there's definitely a kind of a karmic energy. Ace of Pentacles reversed. 9 of Pentacles reversed. This is very unconscious. King of Swords reversed. Queen of Swords. Okay, all right. So, I don't want to sugarcoat this because I think the important thing around this is that it's saying that this will be healed from, learnt from, and the karma will be cleared. But there is something. It's possible it's around a romance. The fact that we have the King of Swords reversed and the Queen of Swords upright, it's not about preferences or anything, but I always think when we see the King and Queen of the suit, that is often a thing about a relationship or a connection, or one that appeared to be a good connection. But the fact that the King of Swords is reversed, there could be a situation where one or other party, if you're in a relationship, has not been fully honest about what's going on. And I think there's a kind of almost a mutual standoff operating, if that's the case, or that's coming through. Or it could be around like work, friendships with the 3 of Pentacles. It may not be romantic. That's not the most romantic of the suits either, and doesn't mean you can't be sort of like an air sign and be romantic, but it could be either. But this is hidden. I actually think the shift is where you discover something like this, and I don't want to worry you too much because it is saying you'll heal from it and you'll be okay. But I feel like it's like you're going to find out that something wasn't what it appeared to be. And so something that you thought was going to sort of grow in a particular way and connect you with someone or people or something, it doesn't seem to be able to happen because there's something, you were brought together with people, these people or this person, whatever it is, for a karmic issue, but it hasn't become apparent yet. So if you have felt a betrayal from someone already, and you feel like that isn't a friend that I thought I was, then there's something else underneath this. There's a karmic lesson that's meant to come to the surface. And I do think it's meant to clear it. It's like you can't find the right people to connect with until this energy is cleared. So yeah, whether it's, as I say, that you betrayed someone and then it's kind of balanced out and someone's betrayed you, and it could be in other lifetimes, okay, I'm not saying necessarily in this lifetime, or whether it's just someone is doing that and that's meant to clear the way for you to realise that karmically this was not the right path, not the right people. I think it's had an effect on you. You felt unable to find the right people to connect to for something that you feel could grow, and you felt like you were somehow not following your calling. But it's almost like it looked good on paper, it looked intellectually really good, and you're going to realise that that's not the right thing. But I do think, you'll heal and learn from it and so forth, which is good. So let's see with the heart code oracles what we've got around well-being and relationships. So these may be further sort of challenges associated with it you need to know, or it could be blessings. We'll see what we get. So around relationships, validation, okay, and around well-being, inflammation. All right. So I think this is saying, it's saying a dual thing to you. In terms of relationships, I think it's saying that you may have connected with people, as I say, that looked like they thought very similarly to you. And whether this is a lover or whether it was friends, I think for many of you it's probably friends or potentially collaborators or something. Look good on paper, and maybe you were seeking their validation and you weren't going to get it. Like there's sort of like an inherent competition associated with it, which was betraying what the friendship was meant to be about. But I think it's also saying that once you clear that karma, then you can find the people and the validation will be natural because they are truly your people and something can grow. So it's a sort of a promise that coming out of this and like using this peace of mind and understanding this as a learning experience really helps. But it is saying that it's probably made you really irritated or upset. You might be physically feeling it in forms of inflammation, you know, backache, neck ache, something like that. That's possible. So it's sort of like it could get overheated. I think the fact that we've got the moon here, so we've got the night, the cool energy, the calmer energy is good. But be aware, I think it's saying that to get too sort of angry about this almost is giving too much validation to the people, the person or the people that have betrayed you, because the reality is they're not worth it. It's more important to like learn from it, like release the karma and move on. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the chakra energy. So what I'm doing is this deck has lots of different cards in it and the color of the cards tells me the chakra. So I'm not going to look at them. I'm just going to shuffle, and then 3 times I'm going to stop shuffling and take the top card. So this is some more information about how this is sort of impacting you, this on a kind of relationship and well-being level. So the first one is the third eye. Overactive. I see and can have mental fog. Yes, something, you know something's not right. There even could be a little bit of gaslighting going on here. So it's like connecting to others, like, and trying to get the answer out of them is probably not the right one. It's going to confuse you. This is more go within and heal within, because it's got something karmic. So you could go within to your own intuition. Remember that, you know, overall you can be balanced and have peace of mind, but when you're connecting too much to others, it confuses the situation. Okay, and we have the root chakra. I am getting easily annoyed. Yeah, there is something here. And like, and I understand it. There's something that would be very irritating and annoying. It could go as far as betrayal, basically. But it's like that's taking you into their energy rather than your own energy and your own healing energy. And third eye again. Overactive again. I see and can be overly analytical. All right. So something's, and this is also the energy of these swords. So what's happening here is that whatever this is, and as I say, it's karmic and it's meant to clear, it is annoying you. And it's making you connect and try and analyze and understand what people are doing. And it's actually, that's not the way to heal. This is much more going within to connect with the universe and connect with your intuition is the way to do this, because this is something that had to happen. Facing Saturn, it's had to happen. And all that's happening is that energetically you're getting hijacked in what the other person or other people want, when in fact this is meant to release you from that energy. So it's like, don't try and sort it out. Don't try and think it through. Don't try and understand them, and don't get annoyed. It is what it is. Move on. And I can say this, I am the sort of person who in these situations far too analytical. So I know this energy. So this is something that had to happen or has to happen, and it's meant to shift you to the people that you're meant to be with. So don't get, it's almost like not thank these people, because I don't think necessarily what's happening is fair or right, but it is saying don't let them hijack your intuition and going in the right direction. So then let's have a look at how this is impacting you in terms of what you do. So whether it's your career or your vocation or your life path or just your lifestyle. Knight of Swords, Four of Pentacles reversed, Four of Swords, the Fool reversed, Two of Pentacles, Seven of Wands. Okay. So this is meant, whether it's literally playing out in your career or something like that, or as I say, whether it's just your lifestyle and the action that you take, this is meant to put a little bit of not a bomb under you, but it's meant to kind of get you moving. This whole energy, like you were heading in the wrong direction, you know, the wrong people, the wrong connections, all of that kind of thing. So that's what the purpose of this is. It is to clear out karma that's no longer right. This is saying that like, going by what you believe rather than worrying about what other people believe is important, there is a shift that needs to happen materially for you. So if this is happening in your workplace, it's kind of start getting your resume out or something like that. If it's around the people you're collaborating with, it's like understanding that's not going to work. There's a kind of allow yourself to heal, definitely. Don't push yourself till you're ready, and understand that this has kind of like hijacked your kind of analytical and your kind of reactive system. So be aware of that. And in your lifestyle, give yourself time out. You know what you're doing. You know, Spirit is saying with the Fool reversed, you can start again using this knowledge It's like, as I say, it's a karmic cycle. You close it out. It's like the world closes it out. Then you move forward to your next step with a wiser sort of understanding of things. And there are going to be options when that happens, but you're going to have to be prepared to put yourself out there. So I think for many of you, this could be about, leaving a workplace and so forth, and you're finding something else and then being able to go on to another job. But it is definitely saying action is necessary. Thinking for yourself is necessary. You're literally meant to cut through this. It's meant to be gone. It was not a foundation that could last anymore. But look after yourself, what's going on. When you know you're ready to move forward, you're going to have that kind of courage to do it. So it's important. It's important to have kind of like rested and healed and not be caught in this energy anymore. So let's see with the Heart Code Oracles around career and around lifestyle. So for career, boundaries. Yeah, this makes sense. If this is in your career or vocation or whatever, boundaries, like intellectual boundaries, are important. I just feel like you've been caught in a situation where other people's opinions have mattered too much. And it might have been for very practical reasons, but you've come across these people too so that you make the decision to move on and follow your own path. But it's almost like you had to be forced into doing it with something that it becomes sort of so egregious that you just know you can't sort of stay in that situation anymore. And like having the right boundaries around you will be helpful. In terms of lifestyle, evaluation, like if this bleeds between, say, career and personal relationships, you need to evaluate what you move forward with. And is there anything in your lifestyle that's making this worse? Are you sort of someone who, if you feel really anxious and over analytical, as it seems that this is happening, that you kind of drink lots of coffee and stay up late at night or something like that? It's like evaluate what you're doing in your life to allow yourself the kind of peace and healing that you need and to get yourself ready energetically to move forward. So again, let's see what chakra energy is important for you, this time in what you do. So firstly, we have the sacral chakra, balanced. I feel emotionally open. So don't let this close you down, because it's saying you're actually meant to find the right people. So this is to close out a cycle, but you have to face it to close it. So don't close down, and your creative energy to bring that in is important. Then we get another sacral chakra, and that's balance. So it's saying, like, creatively and in terms of your desire, what you want, you're very balanced. This is not, you should not take this as you were doing the wrong thing. This is just some sort of karma that needed to clear. I am confident, balanced, good, because you're going to move forward very well once you claim that for yourself. And we have the third eye chakra. I see, but I don't trust my intuition. So this is the one thing to think about when you're acting. It's sort of like you're very much in your head, but this is saying that your intuition is actually really on point. And when you start to see at that level, you'll see that this was karmic. You'll see that it was necessary. You'll see that you can let it go. But at the moment, this is why you're being over analytical. You're trying to kind of make it make sense, but there's a degree to which it's not going to fully make sense, because it's like whatever is pushing this energy is karmic, and it may even be from past lives. So you're not necessarily ever going to know. You've got to let go of that. You've got to start to think about, how do I want to move forward? Okay, so let's see spiritually. We're just going to get 3 cards for the spiritual underpinning of this, 3 tarot deck cards. The Empress reversed, the King of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. For some of you, the core almost training that put you in this situation came from a nurturing figure with the Empress reversed. Doesn't have to be your mother, but it could have been your mother. So there's like a core thing here to understand spiritually, where not being nurtured fully put you into a situation where this energy had to come up. And for some of you, it might be having to break away from sort of like nurturing figures or family figures or something like that aren't actually helping you. But there's something there. And understanding that you have the capacity to heal. And I think it's saying that's almost, again, this is part of your moving forward. You actually are a natural healer as well, but you're also a teacher. There's something about skill with you. You have a natural skill for healing, but there's something that occurred I'd say early in your life. And as I say, if it wasn't with a parent, and maybe it was with a teacher or something like that, that took you off course and made you feel that you had to be validated, made you and made you feel like you had to like not be in your emotions but be in the intellect or whatever. But this is saying you have enormous ability emotionally and healing wise. It's a skill you have, and this is meant to get you back on course with that. So let's get you one more chakra card energy around the spiritual advice. Okay, third eye again. Balanced, great. This like it's a bit underactive here around that, but overall you're very, very good at this. I see and trust my intuition. Okay, if you look at this spiritually, you'll move from that to that. It's really easy. Once you realize that this is awakening a skill in you, and it's almost like a responsibility. It's why you came in, but that there was something that got in the way of that. So this betrayal might have been very early in life. It may not have been that recent, but it's still permeating things, and it makes you anxious and overthink things. So this is getting back to your intuition. Okay, so let's have a look at just some fortune energy using the Lenormand around this shift for you. Crossroads, there's a decision. You're coming up to that. It's interesting, that card came up in another reading. I think it could make sense with a shift or a transformation. This is a time of choice for you. Woman. Yeah, there's a woman that's important in this somehow. I think it is female. I mean, I try not to be too gender specific, or somebody who identifies with being feminine or has a very strong divine feminine. But I think there's a choice about what to do around that relationship moving forward. And Bear, this is a big choice. This person, I think, has a big impact. I mean, it doesn't have to be the person who's betrayed you. This could be a woman who actually helps you make the choice as well. It'll depend who comes to this reading. But this is big. This is a big choice, and there's a female energy around this that is important. I mean, it could also be, if you are a woman or identify with being a woman, it could be you as a significator. Like, this is a very big choice for you. But I do feel like there's something about someone else associated with this. Okay, let's get you a couple of planetary energies as well to focus on. So firstly, Moon and Pluto. Yeah, going back to the moon, your intuition is your engine room of change and transformation. Very strong intuition. Pay attention to it. It's part of your gifts that you've been brought into. I think for many of you, you might have been brought up in a very scientific or a very, very agnostic or even atheist or something like that, something that was not about spirit, or that was your teaching in some way, but you're very spiritual. And to become the teacher and the healer you're meant to be, this energy had to happen. And Saturn and Chiron, yeah, it's what do you create out of the healing, and what do you teach out of the healing? I do feel a really strong teaching energy for you. There's something from this that you can take forward and help others with in some way like that. Okay, so finish off, I just want to get you a couple of blessings or messages from the Enchanted Forest around this transition. So firstly, we get time to act. You don't have to know everything in advance. Take the first step and watch it all unfold. You can deal with whatever your path reveals. You are ready. Yeah, you are ready. Yeah, you're very in tune, and there is time to act. This was saying acting, choosing for yourself, getting ready. Certainly allow yourself any healing time you need, but I even think some of the healing itself is in acting in some way. And the key, all you do with ease and enthusiasm is the path to your goal. Actions are secondary. Make the energy within your primary focus. Do not underestimate the little joys. Okay, so that's interesting. It's giving a kind of a nuance to that. It's saying that it is time to act, but it's what feels energetically in flow to you, because your sense of self and your sense of your spiritual pathway is very, very strong. And it is about, what energy do you want? And it's not this sort of fractious, over-analytical, self-doubting energy. It's the energy that makes you feel ready to make choices and move forward and speak your truth. So I hope that resonates for you, pile 2. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So you came to the reading with the great work, which, as I said in the introduction, is sort of the the alchemical process in itself, and it could be indicating a reading that is about something that you're starting or something that you're in the middle of and you're trying to sort of find your way through, or something that you're close to completing. But in any case, it's sort of the sense of like the life path, the soul path. The other thing about the great work, and it's very interesting because you have the solar plexus, I do have a warm personality, given what I see here as well too. I had an instinct about this. So I'm going to tell you, there'll be two levels that this reading's operating on. And I just wanted, one is I'm just going to say now, and it's just going to be, if it resonates, then bear it in mind as we go through. The rest I'll kind of deal with it more on a day-to-day level. But I feel that some of the people who've come to this reading, you're a magician or you're on the way to being a magician, whether you literally are doing some sort of magical practice, and so the magnum opus is your life's work, or whether you have that ability. And the thing about that is that what it made me think of, even the grey at the background here with the budding flowers, and then we have like the yellow and the yellow, is that in the Kabbalah, the realm of the magician is Chokmah, and Chokmah is the second Sephiroth. So Keter is the first, it's the divine will. Chokmah is undifferentiated intellect, and it is the realm of the magician. And so it is, because it is the furthest away from Malkuth, which is earth, and because it hasn't yet been tempered by compassion and empathy with Binah, which is the third Sephiroth, it is in and of itself, it is the realm of the great work, but it is almost the most detached. And I had a particular spiritual experience where I think that I was in the realm of Chokmah, and I can tell you it was the most profound experience I've ever had in my life. Having said that, it was also possibly the most alien. And I think that there is a sense here, because of the profundity of Chokmah, and that almost the furthest detachment from people, that I think that there is something so magical in what you are doing that you may appear to others to either be very detached or very alien or very different. And you're not, there's nothing wrong with you at all. And in fact, this is why I do have a warm personality. You do. You've got this golden flower, but there's something about what you're doing which is so profound and I think so magical that you may have to find a way, and this might be what this shift is around, to be authentic in that, but also to connect to others. Because, as I say, what you're doing is important. So then it's very interesting. But even if it isn't magical literally, there is something about you that is very profound, kind of serious. You're here with a purpose, even if it's not magical. It's something that you really are here to do and you know it. And again, it could detach you a bit from people sometimes, but this is saying, you're actually really balanced in wanting to be with others. You're nothing in this is competitive. Solar plexus is all about self-esteem and power. Those who are self-actualized, those who have that, well, they don't need to compete with other people. You don't need to compete with other people, but you may sometimes have found that you were so different, or what you were doing was so significant that other people competed with you. And so I just think there's something here around a shift to connect to others because you deserve it. You have a lovely personality, you deserve it. There's nothing, it's just, you might be a little bit awe-inspiring or a little bit scary or a little bit mysterious. I'm just putting it out there. So it's very interesting then. We see that like the wild card energy of all of this, what is unexpected is you're meant to find joy in the great work, not just the earnestness of it. Like I feel like you're quite earnest, but you also have like a great sense of humor. Like you really do want to connect with others. So this shift is to get you to be able to still go on the journey of your great work, but to do it with joy, to be happy, be optimistic, to have friendship and joy. Like it's beautiful. And so over here we have tea time. Take a break, sip a cuppa, have a snack and make time for yourself. And for others, I think it's like tea is often a ceremony that is social. It brings others in, like go out for a coffee, go out for a tea with people, that kind of thing. And becoming really, truly who you are without worrying about how people are going to respond, because we have removed masks. Remove the mask you hide behind, be your true self, because your true self is lovely. Like you have such a nice personality. But as I say, like there's something really big you're here to do. And I think sometimes you are lost in the enormity of it. It makes me sort of think beyond, just as I say, that the magician energy. I also feel like it's like people who are very famous or very powerful in some way. I think sometimes them as a person is lost in the role. So there's just something about that. And this shift is for you to be able to have more joy and be more connected in some way. So that's lovely. So we're going to have a look at this in a couple of, through 3 lenses. The first lens is around how you feel and connect in this transition or this shift. So that's, things like your relationships and your general well-being. The second lens is going to be what you do. So it could be your career, your vocation, your life path, and also your lifestyle. So how the transition is affected there. Then we're going to look at the spiritual engine underneath all of it. So let's start first getting a little bit more information about what does this mean for you in terms of how you feel and connect to others and your general well-being. 9 of Cups reversed. 6 of Swords reversed. Okay. 5 of Cups. Page of Wands. Queen of Swords. 3 of Wands reversed. Okay, all right. So firstly, this is definitely saying there is a joy that you've got to be detached from. You're meant to enjoy this. That thing like, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time, or whatever that saying is. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I've probably misquoted it. But like, or maybe it's the opposite round, I'm not here for a good time. I'm not sure how that operates, but I actually think that for there is a need to reconnect to what your dream was. It's like with the 6 of Swords, you've kind of lost the focus of that somehow. Maybe something disappointed you. Could be a relationship. It could be sort of one stage in this. I feel for most of you with the great work, you're sort of in the process of it. You're not right at the end, you're not right at the beginning. And so there's almost a recalibrate to what was it you wanted to feel around this. Because somewhere along the line it got really earnest. For some of you, there's someone young who's going to inspire you. Like I got that very clearly. Like it's not going to be everybody, but I'm just saying it. There's somebody very young, very inspiring that could really help. So, it could be whether it's a child, your child, child of a friend, whether it's, a young person that you mentor or teach in some way, whether you're a teacher and it's a student, but there's somebody young, like for some of you, there's somebody young that you're going to connect to that really, really helps you come out of that energy. Where it isn't another person and it's you, something creative that you do. Something that, again, brings joy, an action that brings joy is important because your mind is really, really sharp, but it's almost like you've kind of like isolated yourself. You've made it all about the thought processes or whatever, and that's taking you off the path. So it's like spending too many hours in the library studying rather than actually just doing and enjoying. There's some sort of balance here, and you come across. I mean, like you do probably scare a few people, but I feel like for some of you, there's going to be someone young you don't scare. They're just going to find it really interesting, and that's going to like reconnect. And it's a really joyous energy actually. And if this is you, it's your personality. You've got such a good sense of humour. This is the thing that would surprise people about you. You're really, really funny, but it's like you haven't necessarily shown that. And that would be the main master takeoff, just to like make light of things. People think you're really, really serious or really, really powerful, or really a little bit intimidating. But like it's this really strong intellect, this knowledge from here to the end of the world, like that, but that's been a little bit intimidating. So there's just something here about reconnecting to your creativity or to those that make you feel young, just your sense of humor. That's what this transition is, to kind of like go, yeah, actually I do have a warm personality. I do connect. What's happened? So we're going to have a look with the Heart Code Oracles, firstly around relationship and well-being energy. We'll get to career and lifestyle in the next line, but these may be cards that are challenges to think about, or they may be cards that are blessings. So we'll just see what we get. Listen. Okay, listen with relationships and with well-being. Empathetic. Yeah, you do care. You're a lovely energy. But I don't think that people realise it as much as they should. And I think with the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords is a Gemini card. You may talk a lot, and I have Gemini ascendant, so no criticism meant. So maybe sometimes it's sort of like, just sit back and listen. And that's a kind of a warmth and a generosity because you are really, really caring. That would really help. I think there's also listen for those that are looking to you for guidance, and listen for how they could help you reconnect with the joy of this. There's something there. You're very empathic. I don't think people realize it by and large, but you are. And I think what could be also happening is that that empathy, if people are seeing you as a bit scary, you're almost living into that, which kind of makes you feel even more frozen. So I think there's a sort of sense of like, yeah, I do have a warm personality. You do, pile 3. But you're kind of evolved on a level that people won't see it unless you kind of listen and connect and show your empathy, which you have in spades. So what we're going to do with the chakra deck is I'm going to shuffle 3 times. I'm not going to look at the deck because the back of the cards have the colours and that would tell me what they are, and I don't want to be influenced. So I'm going to shuffle 3 times and just take the top card, and we'll see what else could help you around this transition to, I think, connect others to your great work and to get the joy back in it. That's what this is all about. So firstly, we have heart chakra, balanced. I love with respect. See, yeah, you're a lovely person. You really are. You intimidate people, but you're a lovely person and you respect. This might be why I'm getting the young person too. I feel like for some people who are as knowledgeable or as skilled as you, if young people come, there'd almost be a kind of implicit condescension, but you're not like that. You're not like that. You take everybody for who they are, and you know, you don't have that kind of judgment. So that's beautiful. That's really going to help you with this. Then we get the root chakra. Okay, root chakra, I'm getting easily annoyed. So I think that's needing to take the time out. You're so earnest and and sometimes you don't feel like you can be yourself, or sometimes you feel people aren't seeing that side of you. So it's like, don't let it affect your sense of self and sense of what you're doing. What you're doing is really important. But it's like, if people don't understand this, then there will be people that help break through that. And if you just get back to the joy of it rather than getting angry about being misunderstood, that will really help. And we have the throat chakra, so communication. I talk and communicate well. Yeah, you do. As I say, that Gemini sort of energy, like you really can do this. You really can do it with the empathy connecting to that. It really works very strongly for you. So I think a lot of the message here is that your way of communication and you're just general, as I say, there's something about your sense of humour. Like I think you could surprise people at how funny you are and how quick and clever you are. So I think there's a little bit of a hint there about using your communication skills in a way. So sorry if you heard that bloop, that was just somebody Skype messaging me. Okay, so let's look at this from the perspective of what you do. So as I say, this is anything from your career vocation through to the lifestyle. So we've been looking at how you feel, connect, have well-being. Now we're looking at how this transition, this transformation, this shift, whatever it is, impacts what you do. Ace of Cups, Six of Cups, King of Wands reversed, the Moon, Temperance reversed, the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So it's very interesting because this feels very emotional. I mean, it is in the space of what you're doing, but there's a very strong sense of heart here. Like this is, I think, the thing. It's like, do things to show your heart because your heart is beautiful, as I say. And there's something like that you've known right from the beginning. This great work, I think this great work you've known since you were a child. And there's almost a sense of nostalgia for when life was simpler. Like it's almost as though you knew all along what you came in to do and you're in the process of doing it. But there's almost a sort of sense of, you know, like before I started doing this, you know, like I had this sort of like really beautiful heart connection with everybody. But since I've been doing it, that feels a bit more distant. And there may, in fact, even be a sort of sense of like, are you repressing some of your own creativity as a result of that? So something to think about then how you're doing this. Are you kind of self-limiting yourself because there's a sense of like, this has got so complex and it's having an emotional impact? your intuition, your kind of spiritual power is very, very strong. That will tell you, but it's like you have to uncover that. You have to uncover an imbalance because it's actually stopping you achieve what you want to achieve. It's kind of like, I don't know, this could even be competitive stuff with people. It could be within, within whatever you're trying to do here. You could be drawing competition because you're so powerful that you intimidate some people and you bring out competition in others. So it's like it's out of balance. It's like how this is working is out of balance, but it's kind of like there was a concept you had of this which was simple and was from the heart. And bringing that back into balance will allow you to start to build it again. I think you might feel blocked, actually. And it's sort of like I think you might feel blocked on two levels. I think you might feel blocked that people don't understand you, don't see you, don't get who you are. And I think you might also feel blocked on even in what you're doing. It's like suddenly there's competition and there's blocks to that and things aren't being honest. You're very much like that kind of innovator that's ahead of their time or something, which would hit this sort of thing. People maybe wouldn't fully understand and then other people would be trying to stop it because they are threatened by it. There's that kind of energy going on. So around what you do, I think that Spirit is sort of saying, get back to the simplicity of the heart. There is something that you knew right from when you were young. And this is why it's saying, hey, remember the joy of it and connect to others and take a bit of time out because you're going to find you're better understood if that's the case. And that will unblock whatever is imbalanced. So let's see what we get around career and lifestyle. So in career or vocation, investor, okay. And then in lifestyle, criticism, yeah. All right, so for some of you, this King of Wands character is someone who maybe, if this is like a life's work, would have potentially invested, but they then think they can critique everything you do. And that's telling you something about them, so be aware of that. Getting back to what you were really trying to do is probably more important. You maybe don't need their money or their support because their criticism is actually being a block. For others of you, if that's not literally what's going on, I think this is something to invest in. Like you should see it as an investment in your career and your vocation and so forth. Rather than dealing with competition, you just think about what is the investment to you because you've got to find a way to deal with the criticism. You've got to find a way to deal with being misunderstood because you are being misunderstood. And it's not really fair, but it's there. So you need to understand it. So, okay, let's see what chakra energy we have around that for you, around the doing of this and the lifestyle of it. Okay, first root chakra. Okay, I am angry, overactive. Like, okay, so there's something here. You've lost the joy in the doing of this. But honestly, like you have a lovely heart, a great sense of humor. You could really connect with people and you're magical and you're here to do this thing. Like I think you're just getting a lot of pushback from people who are using what is different about you to stop you rather than you finding the people that will support you. So I think this is like, don't get angry. It's making you kind of feel insecure with what you're doing, but what you're doing is very, very important. And you're the one to do it. No one else can do this. We also have another root chakra, balanced. I'm stable. Okay, you're vacillating between the two. Sometimes you're feeling stable with what you're doing and other times you're feeling angry. I actually think this is the core of this. When you are in line with your soul purpose, when you're in line with your intuition, you're feeling stable. When you are in the realm of competition around this, you get angry. This is why the emotional core is what's so important. And we have a third eye. Overactive. I see and can lack clarity. Yes, the thing about you, I think, is, as I say, because you've come in with a lot of power and a lot of knowledge and all of those sort of things, you're not necessarily understood. This is what it's saying. So I'm saying getting back to your heart and getting back to what you wanted to enjoy, because it's like you've got caught up in sort of something where in the feeling of it, there was something that was disappointing that cut you off from your joy and made you kind of be very much in your head. In the doing of it, if you get back to that joy in your heart, you're okay, but you're kind of in this competitive environment, and it's because others can't do what you've come here to do. They just can't. But you've got to find a way to not let them get in the way and get clarity back to what you want, and to bring the joy back, to bring those who want to be with you, because you are going to find that. You're going to find people who do want to be with you and who aren't in competition with you, who actually enjoy what's different about you and what you're bringing to the table. But this is really, this is a block in the great work. This is what this is about. It's saying, like, get back to the joy of it. Be your true self. Don't worry about all this rubbish, because the people who matter are going to really appreciate you, and they're going to love what you're doing once you're actually doing it. So let's see the spiritual engine room behind all of this. Knight of Cups reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. Four of Cups reversed. Okay, this again is saying, like, it's the emotional thing. The joy is the key spiritually. I feel like Knight of Cups reversed, Knight of Cups when it's upright, I think is following the Holy Grail. I feel like you have a really strong mission, but it's like you've got detached from the heart of it. That's the emotional block. Let go of the burden. You don't have to explain yourself to everybody. You don't have to be understood by everybody. I mean, I just suddenly had Vincent van Gogh flash into my head for some reason. Like, you know, like his amazing artwork was only really, and I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but it's just to give you the idea here, was really celebrated after his death. Now, I'm not saying that you have to wait for that at all, but I think it's saying that the burden of being understood, the burden of trying to bring other people along or understanding it, is not the thing to follow. Let that down. It doesn't matter. What you're doing is important. Fall back in love with what you're doing. That's what it's saying. So let's get you one last chakra card to see what will help with that. So we have the throat chakra, overactive. I talk and my voice can be dominating. Okay. And that could happen too. So, you know, part of what's going on here, because you really know your thing, is that sometimes you might, as I say, you might overwhelm people. That's why I'm feeling like you're using your wit and, like, you know, having like a cup of tea with people. Things like that will help, because you're going to find the people who connect with you, because otherwise you're triggering the people who want to dominate too. And so you're getting caught up in this over and over. So it's like you really do have great skills with this, but it's sort of like making sure that it gets you where you need to be. Because as I said right at the beginning, I had a very strong sense of Hokmah about this, and Hokmah is, as I say, an extraordinary energy, but it's also very separating and very alien. And so it's like you need to reconnect. You need to reconnect. That's the main thing here. And you've got everything for it. You're here for a reason, but you're meant to have fun too. You don't have to be earnest all the time. So let's have a look at some fortune energy around this with the Lenormand. Crossroad. This has come up for every single reading. It makes sense, doesn't it, though? Transition. We're in a transition, transformation. It's choices. You have choices. Heart. Oh, yeah. Love. I do think, actually, beyond that, I thought that for some of you, someone very young is going to come in and be very inspirational. There could be passion coming in with this. You know, it could be that you're going to fall in love, or love has just come into your life and you're thinking, how can I do this? I've kind of become this very isolated person or whatever, just focused on what I'm doing. But love is meant to help with this, and getting back to the heart will definitely help with this. It's a very, very good sign. Like, this is going to get better. And ship, yeah, because your ship's going to come in. Love, if you're looking for love, if you felt that your work and what was different about you has alienated you from people, or it's meant that you haven't been able to think about love or anything like that, and you're just in this competitive rat race, love can come in with this, because it's connecting back to your heart and the beauty of your personality and the beauty of your soul. That's actually a big part of your great work. And it's the thing that nobody else can do, your particular heart with what you're doing and your knowledge and all that kind of thing. Okay, so let's get you some star energy as well to help out. So the planets, the planetary energies that could help you. Sun and Neptune. Yeah, you are the magician. You are the magician. So, you know, Neptune is connected with Ketu, so that's right up to the divine. And the sun is your life path. So there is something magical in what you're meant to do. And your intuition and all of that. Follow that. Trust that. Don't trust everybody else's critiques or whatever if people are critiquing you. You're going to have people that want to follow what you do and are going to be really inspired by you. And Sun and Uranus. Oh, and that's Hokmah. Okay. So, yeah. So you're very connected to the upper realms. That's what I felt right from the beginning. And as I say, that has its own challenges. But you are meant to change. You're a change agent and you're connecting people back to the divine in whatever it is that you're doing. And it's you. It's something very true about you. And it's warm, you know. I have a warm personality. It's the sun. It's this beautiful yellow rose that wants to bud. Like you have a really warm, lovely heart, but like right there in the center. But for some reason, people aren't seeing it. But I think this is saying that's a transition coming in, that they are going to see it. So just to finish off, we're just going to draw a couple of cards from the Enchanted Forest for some last advice or blessings for you. One of a kind. From the moment you emerged into this world, you've had extraordinary talents, see? You understand starlight, animal voices, and all things magical. Yeah, you're magical. You're magical. I knew it. I felt really, really strongly. And I almost felt like I was sitting down and having a chat to Merlin, and Merlin's talking about all the things in the universe, but going, you know, I actually like to have fun too. Like it was that sort of feeling. Okay, and you are doing enough. Right now is the time to balance everything you dream of with the actions required to succeed. Be gentle. You are doing better than you know. So yeah, if you felt blocked or whatever, get back to your heart. Get back to what you want. You're one of a kind. You're magic. And you're lovely. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading and was helpful. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Beyond that, I hope to see you in future readings.